Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of Extra Time. We got Craig, Stevie, Seb in studio. We've got Sid and Frank standing by as well. Thank you for your questions. Of course, we talked a lot about...
Why do you always talk about yourself?
Talk about myself?
Steve, Craig, Seb.
What? Should I just not introduce myself? Would you prefer that?
No, I'm just...
There's an empty chair here, nobody?
You say Seb as though it's somebody else. Yeah. You could say, and me, Sebastian, Salazar.
I'm literally doing... How do I say it, my name again? There's nothing better than doing your job and being criticized live for it. That's good.
Constructive criticism is what it is.
Well, not live.
You're right.
Are you beyond that?
More criticism.
You're beyond that?
No, I'm not.
No, just the way it's just
the threw you off. Okay.
Seb's here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
No, and Seb, and then I usually do like a physical reference to myself, like with a hand, and Seb here in the studio, and then... Anyway, it's a whole thing. We talked about the 1988 FA Cup final quite a bit. That's our first question from Kartik. I did go and see the first few minutes, as Craig suggested yesterday. One thing that I got to hear from the commentators is that Stevie had the biggest foot size in the Liverpool team, about size 12. Is it true, or was the commentator bluffing?
What happened was, before I went to Liverpool, do you want to know the story or not?
Yeah.
Oh, you could buy me a book.
I have your book, and I have bought it.
Did you read it?
No, you didn't.
Yes.
You were given it.
No, but I bought it again.
You read
somebody
it?
lent it to me, and then I bought it.
So can you tell me what I'm going to tell you on this story?
I did. It was like 2 years ago.
So you never read it. You're just one of those.
No, I mean, the story about your wife throwing water in your face as you came home, I read it.
So anyway, at Ayr United, we used to get a chitty for the local...
Sorry, a what?
When I played for Ayr United.
What's a chitty?
Chitty?
Yeah.
So like a little bit of paper, you would take it to the shop to get a new pair of football boots. Oh, so
it's like a coupon,
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, again, in 1980, when you put your boots on, it was pure leather. And so you couldn't actually physically, or you shouldn't, play a game without breaking your boots in. But unfortunately, I had no choice. And so in order to be able to play, I had to go a size up because I was a size 11. So I got a size 12, and then it went from there. And from there, it went from 12 to 13s to 14s. To me, getting letters from mothers whose kids had size 15 and 16 asking where I got my boots from. Okay?
A fishtail that grew out of hand.
You got letters from mothers.
I did.
How many?
Everybody else used to get different kinds of letters. I used to get letters from mothers asking where I could get big boots.
Hey, you're the guy with the big feet. I got a kid with big feet.
Aye,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
No.
Nope. Here's another nope from BR Straight. What did Stevie say to Princess Diana before the start of the 1988 FA Cup to make her laugh?
All right, hen. I've got no idea.
You don't?
I've no idea.
You don't remember meeting Princess Diana? I feel like that would...
Well, I do, yeah, but I don't know what I said. There was a game coming up that I was kind of thinking about more than meeting Princess Diana.
Right, yeah.
But you know that dignitary thing? It's a pain in the backside.
Aye.
Oh, really?
You've not Princess Diana, but people coming to FA Cup final we've both played in.
Before a game, yeah.
England-Scotland game at Wembley, they're all coming up the line. Yeah.
Sid, you were at the 1988 FA Cup. Did you get to meet Princess Diana?
No, sadly I didn't, no. And I'm sure I'd have made her laugh every bit as much as Steve. I do love the idea that Steve can't remember what he said to Princess Di, but I bet you that she spent years talking about the time she met Steve Nicol.
Frank, you got a Vinnie Jones story, right? That was one of the characters we were talking about yesterday, talking about the 88 FA Cup final.
Yes, I remember when I signed for Chelsea the first year that we played against Wimbledon. We lost 4-2 at home, and I remember trying to save a shot from the on the line. I was on the line, the goal line, and I think Robbie Earl came and headbutt me, and was clearly a foul. And the ball went in the goal, and the ref gave the goal. And Vinnie Jones came to me and say, "Hey Frankie, welcome to England, my man." And I had a big bum player there. So I remember Vinnie Jones from the first time.
That wasn't did you say that was the semi-final, Frank? It wasn't the semi-final, was it?
No, that was it's on a Premier League game.
Okay.
One of the first game, I think it was in October or November from the first season. So I don't remember if you played. Did you?
No, I thought you were talking about the semi-final at Highbury.
No.
When
No, I was talking about the Stamford Bridge. But I guess we would have won if you would have played.
Oh, we won.
Would you?
Well, we won the semi-final, but I won't mention that.
I like that, Frank. I like that.
I mean, in fact, yeah, Zola takes all the credit for that wonderful goal, but it was down to other factors, which I don't know. I once saw Vinnie running down when Wimbledon were playing their games at Selhurst Park. I once saw Vinnie, well, he came flying down the tunnel, which was very narrow, and he kicked, properly kicked Gavin Peacock, who was the captain that day or was near the front of the queue. He kicked him up in the backside, properly. Proper light launch. And that was before the kick-off. And he says, and there'll be more of that to come.
A tone setter.
So that's some people you can get in their heads, and I think maybe it did get in Gavin's a little bit, but most people are okay with it.
Sean asks, would you guys scrap VAR now if the Premier League don't use pitch-side monitors? So kind of as is, would you scrap it?
No.
No,
It'll get better.
I'm just saying in the Premier League, you don't think it's gotten like a little out of hand?
It'll get better.
Yeah, it's got
It's got to get better
yeah.
quick, man. There's big decisions that we're still arguing about, right?
Yeah.
Well, listen, as bad as you may think it is, right? Can you imagine all these decisions if we just still relied on one guy in the middle? And all we used to talk about was how the guy in the middle never saw it. How did he not see that? That was definitely this and that was definitely that. It just so happens now with so many cameras, there's a lot more things that they've missed. But once they get better at it, and once they actually get some better eyes behind the camera to know what they're looking at, it will get better.
Frank, you've criticized how the French have handled VAR. Thoughts on what the English are doing?
Well, I think it's a big mess everywhere. I think it's a big mess because it's not clear. I think we have, as Stevie said, it can be only one guy who decides for a decision, and we can use monitors and electronics to get better, but we have to use it carefully and precisely. We talked last time about what is the normal position for a football player. It has to be clarified, but it helps many other things. For example, a handball like that the ref wouldn't have seen, and it's clear that it would have been a penalty or a foul if it's in the last 16 yards. So I still believe it's going to be better. It's going to make the football better, but we have to work on it.
Next question comes from Robert, which is probably my burner account. Please ask Sid his thoughts on Diego Lainez' future at Real Betis. Sid, tell me some good news. Come on.
Well, there isn't a huge amount of good news at the moment because Betis have a whole load of creative players. They don't necessarily have a natural starting place for him in the team. I think he would have probably had more continuity last season under Quique Setien than he's going to get this year under Rubi. Betis lack players, but they don't lack that kind of player. They could do with a central midfielder who controls the game. They could probably do with a defensive midfielder, although that's partly due to injury at the moment. But the problem that Lainez has, I think, is that he has the best part of 3, maybe 4 players ahead of him playing in what would be his natural role, or at least one of the roles in which he could fit in the team. So I think there's time, obviously. I think there is a willingness to play the kind of style of football that would suit him. But I just think in terms of the kind of the cue to get a game, he's not right at the top of it. That's the truth.
Gregg, your thoughts on Lainez?
I defer to Sid's answers.
Very well.
On all.
Frankie Furter.
I could see you having burner accounts, several.
Yeah?
I could, yeah.
Yeah? Well,
Chucky Lozano one. Christian Pulisic.
A lot of people in American soccer have burner accounts.
And who's the guy who plays for Wolves?
Jimenez. Yeah, the guy who plays for Wolves. Historic.
Ruben Neves as well, you'd do him, wouldn't you?
No.
Well, he's
No?
Portuguese.
Just the Mexican international.
No, he's Portuguese, but yeah, it was just the same thing, isn't it?
Stevie, you got a lot of friends on Twitter here. Frankie Furter, get Stevie the biggest cake today. Top lad. Is it your birthday? That's not your birthday. Did I miss it?
No.
Does he look like a man that it needs to be his birthday to have a cake?
No.
Does he look like a man that only eats cakes on special occasions?
I've got to tell you, by the way, I was at a birthday party last weekend.
Yeah.
That had a cake, and I never had a piece of it.
Wow, why? Are you okay?
Well, they put me off my beer, wouldn't it?
I gotta say, you look great. You look great, Stevie. He's lost weight. Yeah, he's taking shots about your
You being
cake.
sarcastic?
No, you have one.
No, he's. I have to say,
I'm just breathing in.
I don't. I think there's a lot of insincerity in that comment. There.
Oh, you think I'm being insincere? That's rich.
Well, yeah, because clearly he doesn't look great.
To you, it's all subjective.
Clearly, I mean, it's clear and obvious. Even VAR would spot that.
I felt a little uncomfortable there when he said that.
What? I've given you a
I'm
compliment?
looking, yeah, he just kind of.
No.
I just felt a little uncomfortable.
It's
Okay, well, I'm
very,
sorry.
I'm not sure what was behind it.
Seb's
He must
birthday
want to come
cake.
to your house tonight. He's free.
That's
He's
what
not
it
going to
is.
catch the last flight.
It's one- it
Oh, you're
comes-
here all week, aren't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, you're
Told
not going
you.
tonight. He's look after a free meal.
You will be
After.
coming to my house
Will you be
eventually.
there? Okay, all right. It's just we've got to work out the timing.
Eventually.
Eventually. As soon as we don't have the kids. There you
Okay,
go.
great. Hey, I'm ready. Seb's birthday cake is the actual Twitter account. Can Steve Nicol please throw his name in the mix when Berhalter inevitably gets sacked? They're talking
yes.
about the U.S. job.
What happens if they lose to Canada this week?
Well, the kind of guy in charge, Ernie Stewart, has said that Gregg Berhalter's job not in jeopardy, regardless of what happens against Canada or Cuba.
Do you know, it's a tough old job.
Cuba.
Yes, Cuba's the second game.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I got it.
Right. No, I mean they're not
I
going to
don't care what order the games are in.
Right.
I mean,
but the Canada
Cuba.
game.
Cuba.
No, they'll roll Cuba. That's not the concern.
That's a tough old job right now, because it seems regardless of what you do, you can't win.
Oh, winning.
Oh, you can win.
Was that a joke or was that a?
No, no,
They
seriously.
can't win. They just
no,
like
they
Canada.
can't.
Canada
but-
hasn't been
We're
But the
not
problem is,
relevant in 30 years.
the problem is,
Sorry, Canada.
before the recent results, or the ones that mattered, in the friendlies when they lost, they were getting criticised because they tried to play too much. But then if you did what they should be doing with what they have, and you played it a little longer, then you kind of feel as though it wouldn't be a surprise if people were criticising them for not playing from the back. So you can't win.
So no, you're
So
not
you
leaving
can't-
us anytime
no,
soon.
No.
Plus, you got a great job here.
Well, usually it's great. Now and again, with some changes, it's not quite as good.
Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? I don't look like Dan. You always complain about the look he's got on his face. You can complain about my face too.
I've never said a word about your face.
All right. That's all the time we've got for whatever this can be described as. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to Sid. Thanks to Frank, Greg, and Stevie. I am Seb.
Yeah.
But I will not refer to myself in the third person ever again.
What were you second then?
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.